guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching this video. Today I'm going to be doing a roundup of all of the new drugstore foundations and concealers that are out. There has just been so much new product that's hit the shelves recently at the drugstore and a lot of foundation and concealer stuff. So I just thought I would kind of do a roundup video for you guys and show you guys what I like the best and what I think is something that you guys should skip out on. So let's just go ahead and get into it. Okay, real quick, if you like my lip color, definitely subscribe because the next video I post is going to be showing this lip color as well as all of the other ones in this collection. So be on the lookout for that video. Anyways, let's actually talk about what we're supposed to be talking about today, and that is drugstore foundations and concealers. So I have Maybelline, L'Oreal, Wet n Wild, NYX, Milani, Sonia, Kashuk, a whole bunch of things to talk about. So like I said, let's go ahead and get started with what I like I can't decide if I want to do what I like the least or what I like the best first. Let's do the least first and work our way up to the best. Okay, this first thing, it's going to be a foundation. Let's do foundations first. This thing you cannot run far enough away from. I absolutely hate this foundation and I was really bummed because I thought I was really going to like it. And this is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Foundation. 24-hour wear. It says full coverage, weightless feel. It is like a moussey type of foundation. First of all, I have the shade 301 Classic Ivory. It's way too light for me. Second of all, this says Total Cover Foundation, but I'm just going to say that if you have anything to cover, you better not wear this foundation because it accentuates everything. Like any line, any pore, any like blemish, it just looks cakey and gross on. I absolutely despise this foundation. It is so dry and I have pretty oily skin and it is still like so dry yet not at the same time. It's like it wears off so weird. It's splotchy. It just is bad. It's so bad. This is a very like dry formula foundation. It does come in a squeezy tube, which I like. I love the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte. To me, that is full coverage, and I would just rather buy that than this. This is just absolutely horrible. It wears so bad on the skin. Like, if you have anything to cover up, you just shouldn't even wear this. But it's supposed to be, like, for full coverage, but it just accentuates everything, and it makes everything look bad. It just makes your skin look bad. Now, something that's similar to it that I do want to mention is the Maybelline Dream Velvet Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. This is a mousse, like, and it's a very similar texture to this. It's very, like, moussey, but this is way more, it's, like, softer, it's fluffier. This is a very dry mousse, where this is, like, a hydrating one, and this does say a Soft Matte Hydrating Foundation. This is full coverage, and this is beautiful. So if you want something that's similar to this, but you don't want this because it's horrible, definitely pick this up instead. I love this foundation. It is really, really beautiful. Okay, moving on to the next one that I was kind of like, about. This is the e.l.f. Aqua Mousse Foundation. It is supposed to be like hydrating, but it's so weird because it's not really a mousse. It's very liquidy. Like, let me show you guys. Like, it's a very like liquid cream foundation. It's very thin. It does not offer a whole lot of coverage at all. And so I don't understand that whole like mousse part whatsoever. It's a very thin formula. And what's so funny is that this is supposed to be hydrating, but I don't even really have dry patches on my face at all. But the slightest bit of dry skin, this will accentuate. Like, I had like a little bit of dryness like right here. It wasn't even like, I wouldn't even call it like a dry patch. It was just like a little bit dry, probably because I did put a primer on, but it like grabbed onto the primer that was supposed to make me matte and like made it flake. It was so bad. This just, it doesn't offer a lot of coverage. It doesn't wear well throughout the day. I really don't like this one either. So no bueno for like moussey foundations. Okay, the next one I want to talk about is this. This is the NYX Total Control Cover Drops. I actually kind of like these. A lot of people don't, but I really do. Now, it is a very thin formula. You're not getting a whole lot. It's like 0.43 fluid ounces, and I think this was around like 13 to 14 bucks. So you're not getting a lot of product by any means, but it is a very thin formula. I will say that you do have to use quite a bit of it to get it to be like full coverage. I don't think it says on the, like, it said on the box like 4 drops would be full coverage. I can't do that with my skin. It just doesn't even cover my whole face because it is such a thin, like, watery product. And I do apply this with a brush. So I will say that this is good, but it's probably not going to be like what you expect. It's not, it's very thin. It's very like water-like. So if you were thinking it's going to be like very creamy, it's not. I don't know if you guys can see those drops, but it's just like very watery, but it does feel pretty light on the skin, and it wears really beautifully too. So I actually really like this foundation. Again, I think if you go into it thinking you're going to be like the Cover FX custom cover drops, then you might be kind of disappointed. But if you just go into it like you don't know what to expect, I think you actually probably will like it. It's a really nice, it's a nice foundation. It's probably not the best one that I'm going to mention, but it's not the worst either. Okay, the next two, I can't really decide which one I like better and like which one's worse. The next one is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation, and then this is the Dream Cushion foundation from Maybelline. So the Wet n Wild one is supposed to really help with photos, no photo flashback, all of that good stuff. And then this one is like the Fresh Face Liquid Foundation on the go. I am wearing this one today. This one is pretty pricey. I've seen it around like $15.99 at my drugstores, which honestly for 0.51 ounces of product is not really that great, but this is around $6 for 1 fluid ounce. I really like both of these. This one, you do have to build it up a little bit more if you really want some full coverage, but if you want a nice light look, definitely choose this one. This is similar to like the L'Oreal Dream Lumi, but it's not as luminous as that one. So if you are more like on my matte side of things, it doesn't keep you matte by any means. It's not like a mattifying foundation, but it's not as luminous as that L'Oreal one. So if you want to try a cushion foundation but you don't want the Lumi part of it, go with this one. And then the PhotoFocus foundation, I like this one too. I think it's just a really good, just like cream, classic, traditional like foundation. It's easy. I do like the fact that it has a little like plastic paddle. So I just kind of like blot that all over my face and blend it in with a brush or a beauty blender. I really do prefer to use a brush with this because, well, like, yes, it is a very traditional foundation. It is a little bit thinner than like a Rimmel lasting finish. It's not as thick. So I definitely like to use a brush with this just so I can get as much coverage as possible. I think it wears pretty nicely. I think for $6, this is a really, really great foundation. I definitely recommend it. Okay, now my favorite foundation that I have tried recently from the drugstore is the Sonia Kashuk Soft Focus Satin Matte Foundation. Oh, this stuff is so good, you guys. It is like beautiful on the skin. It really does give you that like soft focus thing, and I like that it's satin matte. I do prefer more like satin matte, demi matte finishes to foundation than just like straight up super mattifying, because the super mattifying ones can kind of dry me out a little bit. But the satin mattes just make your skin look like skin, but like really good. And it, like I said, it does give that soft focus effect. It wears beautifully throughout the day. It does come with a pump, which I love. Now this is $12.99, but to be honest, the Maybelline one is $15.99. So it's not like, it's cheaper than that, which, you know, you always think of Sonia Kashuk, I think, as more expensive, but compared to a lot of other drugstore prices now, it's really not. So yeah, I love this foundation. It is so beautiful. There's not a huge shade range, which kind of sucks. I think if you're looking for a more like shade range, I would go with the Maybelline Dream Cushion or even the Wet n Wild one. And the L'Oreal does have a good shade range, but the formula just sucks all around, that I would say don't. And this one, the NYX, has a good shade range as well. So anyways, the shade range is not huge. I do wear the shade 02 Vanilla. I will link everything down below for you guys that I can find, but I absolutely love this foundation. I think it is so gorgeous. All right, moving on to concealers. So there's been a lot of concealers, a lot of concealer palettes out. So let's start with the palettes. This is the Maybelline Master Camo palette, color correcting. This is in light. It did come with a little brush, but that fell out and I don't know where it is. So you get like a green shade, yellow, some skin tone shades, a shimmery highlight shade. I'm not a big fan of this. This is very greasy feeling to me. They're really thin, and like I said, they're just really greasy. So I just am not a huge fan of this one. And what I'm going to mention next is what I like even better than this. So the next thing I want to mention is this L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover Correcting Palette, which is so funny that I like this and I hate the foundation. So this one, you get like a purple, a green, a yellow, and a peach. I love the shades of these. I love that they are pastel enough to where it's not going to look like you're not gonna like see purple or green under your foundation, which that is like my biggest pet peeve, when color correctors are so dark that like on my pale skin you can just see the color, you know. So So I really like how pale these colors are. I do wish maybe that they would have come out with like another darker one for darker skin tones, but maybe they will in the future, I don't know. But this one is so lovely. I love the peach one to correct, and I kind of mix the peach and the yellow to correct my dark circles. The green one to correct any blemishes or around the nose for redness is great. And then I do like to put the purple under my foundation, like right here in this area, just to kind of brighten it up a little bit more. I just really like this. I think it's so beautiful. Okay, so the next thing is also a L'Oreal concealer palette, and this is just the concealing and contouring one. So you get more like skin tone shades in this one. This one, it's okay. I think if you're gonna pick up one of them, I would get the color correcting one, because this one is just all right. I have tried to use this shade over here to like contour and like bronze a little bit, and it just isn't my favorite. I just think that this is not really like a necessary type of product. I have like really great concealers for blemishes and everything, and none of these shades are light enough for me to use on my under eye area. So, and honestly, this formula just probably isn't the best to use under that area because it's very like thick. So I don't know. It's just okay. It's not the greatest thing in the world. I definitely like the color correcting one better. Okay, so that's enough with the palettes. Let's go into actual concealers now. So this is the Dream Brightening Creamy Concealer from Maybelline. Now, this product is a little tricky. It's meant to be like a brightening concealer, so you're supposed to use it, you know, under your eyes, right? Well, I will say that this formula is a little too dry for me to get like right up under my eyes, you know, real close and personal with my tear ducts. I will like draw it right here, down the nose, on the forehead, on the chin, and blend it out like that. So I don't like to use this real close up under the eyes because it will settle into my fine lines and just kind of make it look a little crepey. But elsewhere on the face to brighten, I really like it. It's a very like just creamy stick. I will say for stick concealers, this one is pretty good. It's not as dry as some of the other ones I have tried. So I don't think this is horrible. I just don't like it super up under there. I do just like it more, you know, like lower on the face or on the center of the face or something to brighten it up. But there it does work beautifully because it's not like a super thick concealer, so I don't feel like I'm putting on like a super thick concealer after I already put on all of this foundation. You know what I'm saying? Okay, the next one is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus Concealer. I am wearing this today. This isn't like the best concealer in the world, but it's definitely not the worst I've tried. Yes, it does crease pretty easily. It's not super thick. It's just okay. It's not like really great. It's very creamy though, which I mean, but again, it's just not like a very opaque concealer. And I mean, it blends out pretty nicely, but I don't know. I just don't really think it's worth it. Now, one I am going to talk about, I do think you should buy. But this one is the Milani Retouch and Erase Light Lifting Concealer. I do have the shade 01. You just squeeze it out and you kind of just apply it. Now, this is it's thicker. You do get a lot more coverage with this one. The whole like light reflecting, color correcting thing that like was all the claims with this, I don't really see any of that going on, to be honest with you. I still need to use a color corrector with this, but it is a pretty good concealer. I would definitely set it because it is a little bit thicker. Now, the last concealer I want to talk about is this Covergirl Outlast All Day Concealer. I did pick up the shade Fair, so it just has like, similar to the Milani, and it has like a little squeeze tube, or a little fuzzy on the top and a squeeze tube. Now, with this, it does say like the soft touch applicator helps with dark circles and stuff. I don't really know about all that, but I will say that this reminds me of like a very serum-ish concealer. It's very thin and almost like, but it still has a nice chunk of coverage to it. It's very light though. It does feel more of like that serum kind of concealer. It reminds me of the Maybelline Better Skin Concealer. You know what I mean? That like serum-ish, like, but yet still covers, but it's feels very light on the skin. So yeah, I really like this one. This is my favorite concealer that I'm mentioning. So I definitely really like this one. Again, it's just that very nice, thin, but still provides coverage type of formula. Like This is thicker, but you can like feel this. You know what I mean? Like this covers, but you can feel it on the skin, and then you have to like really, really set this one. But this one, you get that coverage, but it's still just like a thin formula to where you don't feel like caked on makeup. You know what I'm saying? So I really do enjoy this one. Okay, you guys, so that is it for my roundup of new foundations and concealers from the drugstore. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave any more video requests down below. And don't forget to subscribe. And like I said, I will be showing this lip color as well as the full collection of this lip line in my next video. So make sure to subscribe for that and hit that little bell so you can get notified every time I upload a video. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all the support. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.